What's up everyone, this is Matt from Send Theory once again, and today I'm going to give you a few tips on fitting the Arai XD-5. I actually haven't ridden this helmet yet. I just picked it up, but there's a lot of confusion online of why Arai changed the shape a little bit, and there's a lot of people ruling it out, even though it still might be an excellent helmet choice. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment here. So first, I want to talk about some of the differences in between these. So first of all, the XD4 didn't have a pin lock. The shield was a little bit too coned forward to really make the pin lock work. So they offered this anti-fog laminate in there, which tends to work pretty well, but it does fog up. It is not as good as a pin lock. I'm not even gonna try to convince you otherwise. It's just not. On the XD-5, they put a pin lock in there. They rounded out the shield a little bit more. You can also see that the peak has a lot more space underneath of it. This is to deter that buffering, because with a peak like this, you get a little bit more buffering, a little bit more pull on that peak. Now, one of the trade-offs was that this helmet you can actually wear with goggles and flip down the shield right over top of it, which is kind of nice if you're riding trails and gravel. This helmet you could still wear with goggles, but you cannot flip the shield down over top. It's goggles or the shield. So a little bit of trade-offs. This XD4 also had vents on the top of the shield. This one does not. So they did add another vent here, so it should still be getting good airflow. They also made the port here quite a bit wider, so you get more airflow from the front as well. They've also put this down a little bit, so on the new one you can see it's a good bit lower. That's because this is a common contact point, so Arai wants to push everything down, lower the center of gravity of the helmet, and basically just make it a little bit safer in case you hit that spot. Let's get into fitment. I am right in between large and XL, so if somebody went into stores and had my exact head and tried these helmets on, they probably would have ruled them out, because again, I'm right in between, and the XL is actually just slightly too big. The large is quite a bit too small. I'm like jammed up against the chin bar. So what I did with the XD4 was I went up to the XL, gave me that space from the chin bar, and I went up to the thickest interior liner. So when you pull these out, there's gonna be a couple different thicknesses. I think medium and large shells, those are definitely the same. I think there's 4 different interior liners you could have chosen from. And it's the same with the XD-5. So they give you different thicknesses to choose from with these. Where I work, we'll swap these out at no additional cost, but other places you might have to pay for them, so that's kind of a downside. And this was, the XD-4 interior was pretty solid, giving a couple different options. There was a couple tear-offs here, so this has actually removable foam on the sides for those guys that have that wider head and need a little bit more space. I'm more long mobile, definitely on the narrower side, so I did not need to do that. I just needed to go up to a thicker interior to fill in some of that space. My jaw is also quite narrow, so they make up to 7, sometimes like 8 different cheek size pads. Yeah, because I think it's 12, 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way up to 40, however many that is. So yeah, 6 or 7 different cheek size pads. So I had to go up to 30s in this XD4 to fill in that space and make it right. But since then, it's been a great helmet. I will still continue to use this helmet kind of as like a beater helmet. It's got some scratches on it, but it still has plenty of integrity. It's by no means compromised or anything like that. It's still a great helmet. It has served me well. I'll continue to use it. What they changed on the XD-5 in terms of fitment, and this is where a lot of people rule this helmet out because they might not know these tips. When you take this out, this interior is actually closer to some of the interiors in their street line. They added some features that you usually see just on the Corsair and Signet and Quantum, and they added those into the Adventure helmet. I'm going to pull this out real quick. I'm going to just show you. We're looking at this interior, and I had to do the same thing, by the way. So this is an XL helmet that I got a thicker interior for, and it works just fine. But I had to make a few adjustments. So first of all, make sure you get the thickness right. This has tension adjustments. So depending on how far it is on your head, granted, if your helmet's down here, it's too big. Get a different size, get smaller. But if it's just like a micro adjustment, like you need a little bit more tension, you need to pull that up, or it's like too high, you need to just bump it down a bit. These notches right here adjust how much tension is being held on this liner, which adjusts where the helmet sits. But this is where I really want to get into detail on this, because if you're looking at this, see how this opens here? This is in the back of the helmet. So if you have a long oval shaped head like myself, what you need to do, or what you might need to do, is actually go in, open that flap up, and take this out. Arai actually puts in this little filler piece here, and this is so they can accommodate more head shapes. When you take this out, it's almost identical fit to the XD-4. I would say with this removed, it probably fits about 80 to 90% of the people who move from XD-4 to XD-5. It almost becomes a non-issue. I haven't really met people yet who have taken this out and they had a long oval shape and it still didn't work. This is like a major key. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but it is enough to allow your head to sit back in that helmet just a little bit more. Give you space in front of the chin bar there so you're not, hitting that in your teeth if you go down. And just give you a little bit more room so you don't get that forehead hot spot. Just let your head sit back in the helmet a little bit. This is so important for long oval head shapes to take note of. If it's not enough, you can actually take these tabs out and you can remove a little bit of foam there as well. I didn't have to do that. That's kind of extreme. I would say only like 5% of the time we actually have to do that. Most of the time that back piece is going to be plenty. They've also added on the side. So just like the XD-4 interior, this has foam on the sides and you can go in and remove those if you need a little bit more extra width. So the XD-5, it's not that they necessarily made it much shorter front to back, and it's not that they changed the shape super drastically, but they did change the interior liner quite a bit. So if you don't know those tricks and you go from the XD-4 and you go try on the XD-5 in the same setup, it's going to feel very different. It might feel like it's just not going to work. You really have to go in and adjust it. I would say, because I'm in the mid-Atlantic region where tons of people have long oval shapes, I would say about 80% of the people that fit for this helmet end up needing to take that back piece out, or maybe at least 50%. It just depends. If they have a forehead hot spot or I see them get too close to that chin bar, that back foam is going. I'm not keeping it in there. However, by doing this, by taking this little piece of foam out, you're going to have to compensate by going up one more size in the cheek pads. So in this XD-4, I have 30 millimeter cheek pads. In my VX Pro 4, 30 millimeter cheek pads. XD-5, I actually needed 35 millimeter cheek pads. So because you take this out, it gives you more space, the helmet's a little bit more roomy, you might need to go up an additional size in those cheek pads to fill that in. So yes, it kind of went more towards intermediate rather than the intermediate long oval blend you see in the XD-4, but there's a lot more adjustments you can make on it to make it right. So before you roll out this helmet, be sure to try these out. I wouldn't go in the store and start peeling these off. I've been known to do that before people have purchased it, but you can always put it back in. It is technically glued, but there's like a pocket here. So it's not going to go anywhere if you put it back in. So yeah, don't roll it out unless you've tried these few tips, unless you tried a couple different interiors. This is still an excellent helmet. In my opinion, it's probably the safest adventure helmet on the market right now. Price has unfortunately gone up quite a bit. It is expensive, but these do last a long time. They are some of the safest helmets you can get because, again, it has that glance off, so it's completely round shell. All those plastic pieces will break off in the event of a wreck, so it's not going to catch on anything that you might slide towards and hit. And of course, it has the fiberglass resin proprietary blend shell that Arai uses that is incredibly strong. So yeah, XD-5, great helmet. Can't wait to actually review it. It is the dead of winter. It's been like between 0 and 20 degrees here, and when the ski resorts are open, the bikes stay in the garage for me. Hopefully I'll be able to post an actual review within the next few months, but I just wanted to throw this out there. This fitment tip has been a game changer for many people, and if you're not aware of it, you might have ruled out a helmet that could have served you well otherwise. So, and once again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. If you have any comments, please leave them below. I'll do my best to get back to you and answer them to the best of my abilities. Once again, this is Sin Theory, and I'll see you in the next video. And see, it fits. And see, it also fits. But it's still cold out.